This video is for Theme Communication, Unit Mobile Beats, and this is video 4. In this video I'm going to show you how to save the music that you have created. So you can see here that I've put my track together. I've used a range of different sounds from African percussion to trance drums to vocal effects to create this audio track. And I'm quite happy with that, and I think that would make a nice ringtone. So the next thing that I need to do is to save it, and this is a big step. So what we're going to do to start with, pressing the Save As button here at the top. So it says you haven't saved it yet because I haven't saved it throughout, and so I need to click on this button up here, and it will create this drop down section of the site with 3 very important boxes in it. You need to think very carefully about what you're going to put in each of these boxes. So the first box is asking you to create a file name, so that's the name that you want to save this track as. You need to think of an appropriate file name that will describe this sort of sound that you've created. If I listen back to my track, I think it's got a very bubbly sort of tune to it, so I've decided that my title for this creation is going to be Bubbly Track, because I think that describes the sort of music that I've created. The next box asks you to describe your track, so you just need to think about how would you best describe what you've done for this music track. So I'm just going to put something like, this is my first ringtone created in Avery. I have used a range of different instruments to create this track. Okay, so that describes pretty well what it is that I've created here. The final box asks you to add tags and separate them by commas. So I'm just going to explain briefly what tags are. Tags are basically keywords that you want people, or keywords that you think people will use to search for a track like yours. So imagine that someone's gone to the Avery search and they want to find a track like yours. Think about what sort of keywords they type in to find yours. So the first keyword I'm going to put is bubbly, because again I think that word describes my track quite well. So if someone typed in bubbly in Avery search, my track would appear. I then have to press a comma like that and then put my next keyword in. So another keyword that I might use is ringtones. So I might do ring, comma, tones. I might also put in mobile phones, because I'm classifying this as a ringtone. So some people might type in mobile phones, ring, tones, looking for a sound like bubbly. So hopefully these keywords, once I've entered them, if people type them into the search, then my audio track will appear. Now I'm happy with those tags, so I'm going to finish it there. So I've filled in my 3 boxes. Once I've done that, I then need to press on the Save As a New Creation button here. So I click on that and it'll take a few minutes to actually save this track. So you just need to be patient and wait for it to finish. You can see that it's going to take 24 seconds. So I'm just going to pause this video whilst it saves it. Once it's saved, you'll be presented with this Your Creation screen like this. In the top left hand corner here, it gives you the title of the track, so Bubbly Track, that's what I called it. .egg, that's just the file extension for an Avery audio, so don't worry about that. It's 32 seconds long, it's 63 kilobytes in file size, and if I click on this play button here, it will play my track. Going to pause that. These 2 buttons here where it says download MP3 or WAV, if you click on those, it'll allow you to download this track as an MP3 file or a WAV file. Most mobile phones or most smartphones that you have now, you can put MP3 files on those smartphones and then use that MP3 audio file as a ringtone on your mobile phone. So if you do want to have this as your ringtone on your mobile phone, click on the MP3 button, download it onto your computer, transfer it across onto your phone, and then you should be able to use that within your settings of your mobile phone as your ringtone. Just a few other things I'm going to point out. This Avery page URL here, this is the web page that you can give to someone so that they can actually go and listen to your audio track. This web address here is the address that you'll need if you want to then edit the track. Now it's created, you can go back and edit it and change it if you need to. So you go to this web address here. These two here, this MP3 player embed code and the forums embed code, depending on what you want to embed this file in, so it might be a blog, or it might be a web page, or it might be a form that you've created, you can take these pieces of code, copy them into your web page, and embed them within, like I say, your blog. That's all the settings that you really need to know about. So once you've completed everything and you've downloaded it if you wanted to, or you've copied the embed code if you've wanted to, you can then click on this continue working on your creation. So if I click on that button, this document is now saved. Okay, so what I can now do is, because I know it's saved, I can close this window. This little screen will pop up saying, are you sure you want to leave this page? And you just press on leave this page. Now that'll take you back to this screen, which is our management screen. And if I hit the refresh button, you'll notice that my bubbly track appears at the top here with the information that I wrote. So this is my first ringtone created in Avery. I've used a range of different instruments to create this track. So that's what I wrote when I saved it. You can see that it says bye, and then it's got my name here as well. Now, when I log into Avery again, so if I logged out and logged back in, I would see this at the top. I can click on the edit button to go and edit this track and make changes to it if I want to. I can click on the download button if I want to download it again, or I can click on the delete button if I'm not happy with it. I've also got the URL here, which is the web address that I can give to people to put that, sorry, that this is the embed address, so I can embed this into a web page if I want to do that as well. However, I'm not going to click on any of these buttons. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to click on this Mobile Beats button. Now, like I said, your teacher should have set up a Mobile Beats project, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit this track that I've created to the Mobile Beats project so that my teacher can see it. So to do that, I need to click on the Mobile Beats project button, and here your teacher should have written out the task. Here, look, the Mobile Beats task was to create your own ringtone for a mobile phone using the music application. You can see that 114 people have already submitted their tracks to me. This description here explains in more detail what the task is, and then people can actually comment on these projects if they want to, down here at the bottom. Here on the right hand side you can see people that have already submitted their work. However, what I want to do now is submit my track that I've just created. So to do that, I click submit to project, and then I find my track in here. Here's my bubbly track, so I click on that, and then I can add some submission notes if I want to. So this is a note that will go to my teacher once I've submitted it. So I could say, here is my ringtone, like that. So I've selected my track, I've written in a little submission note. If I then scroll down to the bottom here and click on the submit button, that will then submit that track. You can see that it's appeared here, look, in the student submissions. I've submitted that track to my teacher, and then people can start commenting on it if they feel they want to. And that's it. In this video I've showed you how to save your project, how to add keywords and descriptions to it. I've also mentioned how you would download that ringtone if you want to as an MP3 file and put it on your phone. And I've also showed you how to submit your ringtone to the Mobile Beats project.